What's going on, everybody? I'm Caleb. Welcome back to Caleb's Kung Fu Cinema. Today on the show, we've got a brand new installment of the Heroic Bloodshed Corner. And for this installment, we're going to be looking at Crime Story. You don't want to miss this one, so stay tuned. Now, before I get started, I want to remind everybody to like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell to stay notified, all that really good stuff we say here on YouTube. Like always, it really does help. And before I jump into the movie, I got a buzz cut. So decided, I figured I'd go ahead and get that out of the way now. I'm sure many people may be shocked. I haven't had a buzz cut in almost 20 years. I was probably 10 or 11 years old the last time I had one. But anyway, so let's jump into the movie. We're going to be talking about one of my favorite Jackie Chan films, Crime Story. Now, let me just make one thing really clear. I do realize that many people do not consider Crime Story to be a heroic bloodshed film, and I definitely understand where that's coming from. I definitely see how Crime Story cannot be considered a heroic bloodshed film. However, at the same time, and this is just based on my research of the heroic bloodshed genre and just all the observations that I have whenever I've watched Crime Story, the film, it does have heroic bloodshed elements. It is a dark cop thriller, from that era when heroic bloodshed was really blowing up, and so I figured that this was still in some ways a fitting movie to cover here on the Heroic Bloodshed Corner segment. So just to avoid any confusion, I do realize that this may not be considered a heroic bloodshed film, but again, the elements are there, and I will talk a little bit about that as we go on. So Crime Story, once again, really awesome Jackie Chan movie. It's a 1993 film, I believe. It was directed by Kirk Wong. Jackie Chan also had his hands in the directorial duties as well, directing the action. In the film stars, obviously, Jackie Chan, Kenneth Chang, and Lau Kar-ying. So the film is again, very dark cop thriller film. It's very violent. In this, at that time, whenever this film came out, it was something very unnatural for Jackie Chan, because obviously he became very well known for doing a lot of action comedy, and so this film was in some ways a bit of uncharted territory for him. This movie, in this film, he is very serious. The story is very grim and dark. Jackie's character is dealing with a lot of personal demons, which all started whenever he had to shoot some terrorists in self-defense, and mentally speaking, that really messes with him throughout the film. But the main overarching story in Crime Story, see what I did there? The main story here is that there is a very wealthy businessman played by Lau Kar-ying who has been kidnapped, and he's been kidnapped by a gang of rogue cops, basically, and the leader of this ring of rogue cops is Kenneth Chang. I won't, as with the last film, I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys. I definitely think you should check it out yourself, because it's a really good movie. And if you guys aren't used to seeing Jackie Chan doing something that's like not humorous, this is definitely a good starting point. But anyway, the film, as far as having like heroic bloodshed elements go, the elements mainly come from the darkness of the story, and there is not a lot of fighting in this. Like there is a little bit. There's probably, like, I want to say there's maybe 2 scenes. It's been a minute since I watched the film, but I want to say, as far as I remember, there are 2 scenes where there's like an elaborate Jackie Chan style fight sequence. And when I say Jackie Chan style, I'm still not even talking like the really comical fight scenes that he tends to be known for. These fight scenes are very reminiscent of something that you would see in Police Story. It's like it's very modern. It's like very fast-paced kickboxing style. Anyway, so yeah, the heroic bloodshed elements mainly come from like the darkness of the story and the violence. There's quite a few shootouts and it's very bloody. From what I understand, the director of the film, Kirk Wong, he had a different idea in mind for the plot. Rumor has it that he wanted the story to actually be much more darker and violent than it turned out to be. But Jackie came in and made some changes to the script. And there was also a rumor that before Jackie signed on to do the film, they were going to get Jet Li, which I think would have been interesting. I'm a huge fan of Jet Li, and I could see him playing in a movie like this. And I would say that he's done some similar things. Jet Li, I mean, he's done some similar things to Crime Story. So I will just talk about my opinions of the film. Crime Story, in my opinion, is really, really good. It's again at that time very against type for Jackie Chan. And an interesting thing I've always thought is that whenever Jackie Chan's film The Foreigner came out in 2017, for a lot of people that was the first time for them seeing Jackie Chan doing something like really serious and very dark. But what some may not realize is that Jackie Chan had done some stuff before The Foreigner that could be considered, dark and gritty and violent. Crime Story being one of them. There's also New Police Story, and you could even go way back to his late 70s old school kung fu films like Dragon Fist. A film like that was also like very dark and very intense and violent. But anyway, yeah, performance-wise, I think Jackie Chan does an excellent job here. He has always been a terrific actor, and he really gets to show off his chops here. He's very, very, I don't know if stoic is the word I want to use, but he plays a cop who's like really into his job. He always tries to do the right thing. He's very good-hearted, I guess is the word to use. There's a really great chase sequence in the opening of the film when he's trying to rush get this cop who was hurt really bad. He's trying to rush him to the hospital to get him help. That's a really intense chase car sequence, And the film is capped off with a really good action sequence. Jackie Chan takes on Ken Lo and a couple of other guys, and there's a really interesting. I thought the ending was really weird. Again, I'm not going to spoil it, but the story revolves around Lau Kar-ying's character. Again, he plays a businessman who was kidnapped. And the way the film ends, they kind of gave the indication that I won't necessarily say that. I'm trying not to spoil the film. I won't say they kind of give the indication that one thing happens to Lau Kar-ying's character, but it actually didn't. It was kind of weird, but that left me a little confused. But other than that, I mean, I thought the movie was really solid. Ken Chang's character is something else. Like Ken Chang, I've always liked him as an actor. He's really good in stuff like Flashpoint, and he is in the second and fourth Ip Man film. I can't remember if he was in the third. I don't believe he was, but he's very good in those films as well. But in this film, he's for lack of a better term, interesting. There is a really awkward sex scene that he has in an elevator. I don't know what was up with that, but anyway, outside of that, I liked him in this movie. Even though some of it is a little bizarre, I like him, especially at the end whenever he is the one who's like behind Lau Kar-ying's character's kidnapping and all that. And at the end of the film, he while you may not agree with what he has done, you definitely understand where he's coming from. That's like people say, it's the difference between sympathy and empathy. So like whenever he gives his reasons for what he has done, talking about how, in the context of the film. He's a cop and nobody respects him. He doesn't get paid enough, and all this other thing. Nobody appreciates anything he has done as a cop. So yeah, as far as the film goes and his character, again, you understand where he's coming from. So in a way, he is sort of compelling, but again, there are some qualities of his character that are very bizarre and unlikable. But again, that's surely the point of the film. But anyway, the film also has a lot of really intense moments. Ken Chang's character obviously being behind everything and not wanting other police to find out. He has to he's like frantically trying to throw the police off of his trail. And each time they get closer and closer to finding out the truth, and he just again frantically tries to find a way to get them further away from the truth and not figure out that he's the one behind all of it. But yeah, Crime Story, super intense film, very bloody and dark and violent. It's got those heroic bloodshed qualities. Even if it's not a full-fledged heroic bloodshed film, it doesn't have the like a very elaborate gun fu sequences and stuff like that you see or that you commonly see in the heroic bloodshed films. But yeah, I still think that this is definitely one to check out if you want to see some heroic bloodshed stuff, or if you just want to see a Jackie Chan film where Jackie Chan is not being like very goofy and funny and stuff like that. So yeah, I highly recommend Crime Story. If you guys need ways to watch it, there are a couple of different options. There is obviously the 88 Films Blu-ray that I have. This is a really great Blu-ray. It's got a great interview with Big Mike Leader. Love the guy. Shout out to him. He gives a really great breakdown of what Crime Story is. He actually says it's right here. He said it's police story on crack, which could not be a better description of this movie. Anyway, yeah. The 88 Films release is a really great option if you guys want to see Crime Story, and that's a Region B release though, so if you guys do not have region free capabilities, and if you don't live in Region B, obviously if you live over here in North America, there is another option, which is the Jackie Chan Collection Volume 2 from Shout Factory. Crime Story is on this set. I actually haven't watched it on here yet because I have a lot of other things to watch and I just haven't gotten around to it. But it is on here, quality-wise and special feature-wise. I don't exactly know what's on there just yet, but that is a viable option if you guys live in Region A and don't have the region-free capability. So yeah, you can check out the Jackie Chan Collection Volume 2 from Shout Factory. I will leave links in the description for both of those Blu-rays if you guys decide you want to check them out. And I will also leave my link tree in the description so you guys can follow me on social media and also check out my podcast, also called Kaleb's Kung Fu Cinema. We got a brand new episode of the podcast coming out this month. It airs June 15th. We're going to be talking about one of my favorite old school Kung Fu films, The Mystery of Chess Boxing. So yes, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching this installment of the Heroic Bloodshed Corner. You may have noticed I actually got a poster back there. That is my Royal Warriors poster that I got on my in the Line of Duty set. I hung it kind of low. It's just so, again, I don't have white walls. I got something going on in the background. And of course, I've got my cable statue as well. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys. Again, like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think of Crime Story. Again, I do realize may not exactly be a heroic bloodshed film, so I don't necessarily need to be reminded of that, but thanks anyway. But yeah, anyway, in the comments, let me know if you guys like this film or not. And if not, if you don't like it, that's okay too. Totally understandable, but I'm always down to interact with you guys, excuse me. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think of Crime Story. And again, I definitely recommend checking it out. So yeah, thanks guys. I'll see you in the next video.